Take 2.
Take 3.
Take 3.
You only have to do it once.
From here on out, I'm doing it. It's my job.
Welcome to the Week 4 recap. Jazzed Fans TV. Paul Sheffield.
Carson Wood.
A good week that ended on a sour note, but I am glad to be sitting.
What happened, Paul?
I ran a Spartan. First Spartan. Ran the Super in Sacramento.
He sped walked up Spartan.
And determined to not miss a week for this recap. It's not a cast, but it's a recap. I decided to drive all day. Not advisable. Very stiff. Very sore. I'm not going to do a lot of movement.
Spartans are not for Athenians.
Stop.
Which Paul is.
I'm a Spartan now. I'm half and half. Don't tell my mother.
I'm telling. Yeah. That's
Ooh,
what I'm telling.
That's even worse. That's bad. Well, let's dive into it. Week started off pretty well with the Warriors.
Yeah, that one actually was close for a little bit of the game, but we've never felt like it was
out of control.
No. But I did tweet at Donovan that I was upset at him.
Why?
Pascal, I am a big fan. I think he's going to be a good role player. And he didn't tell us about him. And then I told you, I mentioned it to you, and you said, well, what place did he go? And I had already looked it up. 41. We could have got him.
Oh! That's not
we had all sorts of picks around that area.
What does he play? What position does he play?
He's a power forward.
We do need that.
Yeah.
Not that we need it. Hold on. I like the bogeyman, but depth there would be really nice. We have our starting 5 is fine.
They had a good moment, him and Donovan, after the game.
Yeah.
Got to exchange jerseys.
Absolutely.
And I think that's the first competitive game they've played against each other.
Really?
Yeah, that's what Donovan said.
Okay.
They made a
first of many
hullabaloo of those two coming from not the projects. What's the opposite of the projects? Suburban.
The suburbs.
The suburbs, as it were. And the suburban kids couldn't make it, and they're both there in the NBA. Size and speed will do a lot. Doesn't matter where you come from.
100% correct. Rudy was a big factor in this game. Listen, while his stats are great with the 25 and 14, they don't have a center for Golden State. So he should abuse them, and he did. You got to beat the teams you should beat, and we'll get to that later in the episode.
They had Willie Cauley-Stein.
That is not someone who should contest Rudy Gobert at all.
No, no. I actually surprised that he got as many rebounds as he did. He's
Stein?
Tall. Yeah. He ended up with 11, but Rudy, he owned the paint. No matter who was in, he was doing work.
Any takeaways? Anything that stood out to you from this game?
On that one, Donovan looks like he's starting to get some more assists and rebounds. Rebounds is actually a consistent thing going all the way to Memphis. I think he had 8 there as well. So he's starting to get even more of a complete game. We know him as a scorer, obviously, but he's starting to creep into those other categories. And that's kind of what I was expecting this year: more assists, more rebounds,
all around game,
and maybe a little bit better 3-point shooting. I'm expecting him just to keep going up because he's got such a beautiful shot. So it seems like that's starting to come around because we know he's going to get points at this point.
I'm also loving the little teardrop, that little mid-range teardrop. He's got that thing going, and that's something I've always wanted him to do. And it's
mid-range Mitchell
humming mid. Man, let's get a shirt.
It's the teardrop. It's also like he's just pulling up right at the corner of the paint and just dropping those in. It seems like, just anecdotally from my perspective, it seems like he's like hitting those 70-75%.
Yeah,
he's almost automatic from there.
I really also liked only 12 turnovers on the road. I think that's huge.
Yeah, turnovers, it's been an issue.
It's been something.
We're cleaning them up little by little.
All right. Nets
was a hairy one. That one was a back-to-back. Everybody, it was very apparent in the first half that we were tired and they were rested. And then the takeaway, when we actually did do interviews from everybody, the takeaway was because of Rudy Gobert, we finally got hold of it in the fourth quarter, and we could kind of chip away at their lead. And then the other kind of talking point is Moutier and Jeff Green. I think they had 14 unanswered points or something like that to start the fourth quarter, or they scored our next 14, and I don't think they missed. There was like 7 straight possessions or something like that. Yeah. We're deep. We're really deep, and Exum's coming back. This program isn't the biggest fan of Exum, but it doesn't hurt to have pieces that you can put on the court. Whether they're going to work or not, options are always good.
Absolutely. I was worried we were going to lose this game. Mm-hmm. Carson and I have a big thing going on who's going to have to take over interviews for the first loss, and we thought it was going to happen. But the biggest takeaway for me from this game was we overcame a 15-point deficit at half. We've shown we can lose a big lead, but now we've shown that we can also, what's the word I'm looking for? Overcome a large deficit. And it shouldn't have gotten to where it was, but it did. And they regrouped, made their adjustments. Mitchell probably changed shoes. And we came out with the W. Even though, I'll be honest, the Tuesday crowd was different.
Yeah. So just kind of behind the scenes, we just go out there and then we kind of wait to see who's kind of looking at us to do the interviews. And we just point at them and yell loudly at them, "You want an interview?" And then they usually say,
"Absolutely. What are you guys doing?"
This time there was actually more that said no than yes. We still got a number of good interviews, but
the interviews were quality. We loved the ones we got. It felt like the crowd. Maybe it was just a Tuesday night, like people wanted to get home. They were tired, instead of the super jazzed weekend crowd. Also, we got to just stop asking people wearing leather jackets. They usually say no. Gentlemen wearing leather jackets with jeans, not as likely. We've gotten a couple. It's rare.
Yeah, it was just we were super happy with everybody that did stop and say yes, but it did seem a little bit lower energy, except for the one gentleman who
Derek?
was super high energy. Derek
was
Moffitt.
awesome. And Austin was good. Yeah. I liked Austin.
Well, I just mean Derek because he was high energy. He was feeling it.
When we started this, we wanted high energy. We never thought we'd get humping the air energy.
On a Tuesday night?
On a Tuesday night. And we got it. We got it. Mm-hmm. And I hope to see it again.
But other than that, I mean, the interviews were still really fun this week. Fast forward to Jazz away. Mike Conley.
Homecoming
for him. They gave him a nice tribute. It was actually really nice. He did not play well.
No. Started 0 for 6, right? From 3?
And ended 0 for 6 from 3.
No, he hit one. Did he not?
Think so. I'll look it up.
I will look it up.
I'm almost positive that our three big 3-point shooters.
He actually finished 2 for 8.
So
because I remember watching him get the first one, and everyone was.
No, you're right. Him. You're right. Our 3-point shooting in general, though, was not stellar.
No. Is it time to worry about the Jazz on the road? We are losing games we should be winning.
We've lost 2 that we should win.
That's enough for me.
We lost to the Kings and we lost to the Grizzlies.
Yeah, I don't like that.
No, I think our big test on to see how well we travel is when we actually put the next road trip that we have, where I believe we're going to the East Coast.
5 in a row coming up.
Warriors, Pelican, or no. We've got. I don't know who.
We can talk about that next week.
It doesn't matter. But I think that's going to be the big test is when we string a couple together. If we end up coming out of that 3-2, I'll think we're all right. Yeah. I think we have 5 in a row. So if we end up 3-2, this one was kind of a bummer though.
You have to beat them. You have to beat the Memphis Grizzlies.
They got pieces though.
No, but not great pieces.
They're starting to look good.
No. I promise you Jay Crowder will not finish the season on that team. I promise you.
So? That's not even who I'm talking about.
Who are you talking about?
I'm talking about Ja Morant.
Okay.
I'm talking about Jaren Jackson Jr.
Josh Jackson,
excuse me, and Dylan Brooks. That's their 3 core, and they're young, and they're very good.
Jackson only scored 9. He didn't play that great. He didn't kill us.
No, he's not going to kill us, but he can at least, I mean, Rudy Gobert is Rudy Gobert. He's probably not going to kill, but, I mean, if you're watching him, he's had big games for him. And I'm just saying they've got really good pieces. They're not slouches anymore, or like we thought they were going to be, in my opinion. They've got their core of 3, which is what we were looking for when Donovan came in. They're very young and they're very aggressive. I think they're going to be a very, very fun team to watch.
Where do they finish in the West?
They're still outside of the playoffs, but I'm telling you, they're going to be a hard game every time.
And I disagree. I feel like we let one slip by here.
We absolutely did. I'll agree with you there. But I was worried about this game. This was like, it was like last year, the first home game that we went to, and we lost to them. I said on the last week's recap, I'm worried about this game. You're like, no, it's fine. And I was like, well, we have lost to them on like these weird games, and they did have different personnel, but I think it's rough because they're going to be like Phoenix Suns area, in my opinion, where there's not going to be an easy game.
Wow.
Unless we're playing the Warriors, apparently.
I feel like we play anywhere close to our potential, we win that game by double digits. I don't think Crowder's going to. I think Crowder's going to get traded. Some contenders going to play for him or pay for him, so he's going to play for them. And I think that's going to hurt them. I think Memphis still finishes in the bottom.
It is Jaren Jackson, by the way.
Is it Jaren? Did I mess up?
Yeah, but that's okay.
Dang it. Fact checking Carson. He's supposed to only be on the podcast, but here he is now too.
But you may be right about that, but I still, like I said, I just feel like they're going to be a tough team. I don't think that they're going to lose. They're not going to get destroyed by a ton of points by a lot of, like most teams.
They just lost to Denver by 16.
And I immediately eat my words.
We should have won that game. We should have beaten the Kings. I know they just beat the Celtics. And we should have beaten the Grizzlies. These are games we need to be winning. Teams that are going to be outside of the playoffs, we got to be beating in the West. But they're not going to be like the worst or second worst. Who knew it was going to be the Warriors? Who knew? On interviews, we were told that we won't beat the Warriors.
Yeah.
We'll see what happens tomorrow night. No. Friday night. Right? We got them this week, don't we?
Yes.
Friday night.
Friday night indeed. So
we're going to beat them.
We got to give our weekly award for our standout player.
I think we know. That's Donovan Mitchell.
I know.
Oh, taken away. It's Rudy Gobert. Rudy Gobert and Bogdanovich. They're cleaning up awards on Jazz Fans TV. He was instrumental.
Just doing it everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
People are starting to notice also the screens, and this is, I mean, I've never really noticed how like intelligent the screens are or anything, because slightly ignorant in basketball, just a huge Jazz fan as it were, but he beats up his body every game. He's bodying up with anybody and everybody, and he's making plays for everybody else. From what I've been seeing over the last 3-4 years, different level of intelligence from him. He does a lot of things that go unseen, and people are really starting to take note, including me. So I mean, particularly I started getting impressed with him apart from just his defensive stuff on the offensive end, and it's continuing into this year.
His lowest rebounding total this week was 14.
Mm-hmm.
14, 15, 17, and I believe 23 and 17 against Memphis,
mm-hmm.
which we should have won by double digits. Question time? We got our first question.
We did.
Got a question from Caleb. Fire away.
So from Caleb, he has done 2 interviews. He's been great to come and talk to us.
He's our all-star.
He said, "What do you guys think about Niang? Seems like he had a tough start. Was sitting by his girlfriend at one of the games, and it was awkward. Ha ha."
I think it's just as awkward for Niang on the bench with the players. Personally.
I'm sorry. I think I cut you off there.
No, you didn't. You're fine. I don't think we're going to do a lot with Niang, as far as a short answer for it, and allowing me to elaborate. The position with which he's playing is not one that we need right now. Bogdanovich is a scorer, right? Bogdanovich can score at any place. He's playing the 4, sometimes the 3, but playing the 4. And the emergence of Tony Bradley, I just don't see us needing a stretch 4 in the scheme of it all. I guess the scheme's what I'm looking for.
So what do you do with him?
Honestly, either trade him or put him in the G League. I at this point, I don't see where he fits into the rotation when there's other players that are stepping up. I see him as an asset that may develop in the future. So maybe you keep him on the bench, so he can jump up and down. But I just don't see him in the rotation.
for me, it's pretty much risk-free to keep him in the rotation. He's $650,000 a year.
Okay.
Super cheap. When did Joe Ingles come to the league? How old was he?
I don't know.
When he was 25.
Okay.
Niang came in when he was 25. He's not going to be an instant guy off the bench, but he can shoot the three. He's smart, and he knows the system. If somebody gets injured, I think he slots in, and you don't lose that much. Is he going to wow you? Probably not.
Well, that's the point. If someone gets injured, we're glad to have him. Yeah, I honestly think you're going to keep him on the roster, sure, but I don't think you keep him in the rotation currently as it stands, barring injury. If there's an injury, absolutely, we would need him, but I just don't think coming off the bench for what he needs. What we need off the bench is defense and interior presence, and I think Bradley does that in spades.
Well, I mean, I don't know. You could do different lineups with him, I think. But, I mean,
Really?
with Joe coming off the bench, you're right. I don't see him as like the rotational player. Like they're essentially, for me, the same player. Joe's just better.
He's never wowed me on defense, so you would need him for offense. And I just feel like there's got to be someone else at the time that can come in that can play an offensive role. I like Niang.
I would say that play a defensive role because he's offensive output. He's 3-point shooting.
That's what I'm saying. Sorry, did I say that confusingly? If you need someone off the bench for an offensive role, I don't think you go to Niang. First off, you have Joe Ingles.
Mm-hmm.
And then who's he coming in and out for? I just feel like Bogdanovich is probably there. So someone else is going to come in that can provide better offense. I like Niang. I really do. I just don't see him being as effective as other players in the rotation. So that's my answer.
Yeah, and I maintain, I mean, you write him out of the contract. I mean, he's super cheap.
No,
you see how far it can
absolutely,
go.
100%.
And I feel like he's a guy that could develop into something. And
Sure.
It might be super late. He might be one of those really late career guys, again, like Joe. And is he probably going to end up being Joe for us in like 3 years' time like Joe was? And no, he's probably not. Joe's the soul of the team. He brings everybody together. He's joking with everybody. There's more to Joe than just basketball. I don't think that's Niang. But again, for $650,000 a year, I don't think it hurts us keeping him on the team. I don't think we need to trade him or drop him down at this point. Just keep him there and
Sure, that's fair.
Get 5 minutes a game
during blowouts that we should be having on
against
the
good
road
Grizzlies.
Against the Grizzlies. See, that's on you, Jazz. You deprived Niang of minutes. That's on you. Look forward to this week.
Look forward to this week.
4 games. Big week. 3 at home.
Yeah, we got the Timberwolves. I'm actually really excited for this game.
Me too.
Everybody's been talking, like somebody gave a question on Reddit. Who would you rather build your team around?
Oh gosh.
Cat, Simmons, Trae Young, or Donovan Mitchell? Most people had Mitchell fourth. I don't get why people love Cat.
Trae is so young. He has so much to prove. And I don't know why people love Cat either. You're right.
Like Trae at least is carrying a team. What's Cat done?
Nothing.
He lost a whole bunch of other players and never did anything with an almost all-star cast.
Yeah.
Great. He's great. He'll score 36 points on offense. And he'll lose in the first round of the playoffs. Did they even get to the playoffs?
They missed him.
Not
last time I checked.
He's been
they
to
were
the playoffs though, right?
That's a good question. You can't spring that on me.
Yeah, it's rude. Who knows?
I know they were at in third place when Jimmy Butler went down. I don't think they made the playoffs. They might have made it one year. I don't think they did that year. But we get Minnesota twice in the week. I don't love when they do this, but I accept it. Because we get them Monday and then we get them at Minnesota Wednesday. So a real quick turnaround, get to play them twice. But I'm excited. I honestly I want to see how we do against Andrew Wiggins. With all of this upgrade in athleticism and the defense, I want to see how Royce O'Neal handles. I think Royce O'Neal is going to guard him, and I want to see how that goes. I think Rudy can take Cat down in the paint. I'm not worried about that as much as I want to. I'm interested, and my key matchup is Andrew Wiggins versus Royce O'Neal.
Do you see us trading games there?
No. We're going to win both of them.
I like it.
I want a clean sweep week because we've got a really good back-to-back at Golden State and Pelicans, the 2 bottom feeder teams in the West. We need a nice 4-game winning streak to just clean out this week before we go on the road for, 5 games?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think we trade there, and then I think we beat the Pelicans and the Warriors.
You're predicting 3-1.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Shout out, by the way, to Derek Favors getting a 20-20, and then I don't even think he played today. I don't know what the hell is going on with
I
them.
miss him still.
Yeah.
He's a good guy.
You gonna wear your jersey that night?
I don't have a Favors jersey.
Oh, you did. I thought you had a blue Favors.
No.
Sad.
I've wanted a blue Favors.
So, I mean, ideally...
We're accepting donations.
Larges.
Yeah.
If you're going to give us a blue Favors jersey or any Favors jersey. I think we go 3-1 this week. I think we take one. We lose on Wednesday, but I think we
pull it
pretty
out.
Comfortably win the other three.
Back-to-backs. I don't know the Pelicans back-to-backs, but I still think we should. I think we need to right the wrongs on the road.
Do you think they put Favors up against Gobert?
They have to, don't they?
He hasn't been playing. I want him to. I want to see that.
to.
I want to see those
That
two
would be
go at
good.
it. I think
that'd
it'd be fun.
good. Well, cool. Anything else?
Nope.
Come find us. We'll be at all the games this week. We got 3 of them. We'd love some new interviews. Come back if you've already been on. But until then, we'll see you next week.